Hey peeps, welcome back to a special continuation of our previous episode. We talked so much we had to split it up. So if you haven't listened to the previous, go ahead and check that out. If you're all caught up, then you may proceed.
Right on. Well, Lonnie had a topic. He wanted to talk about AEW stuff.
Which, for those that don't know, that stands for All Elite Wrestling.
Oh, I didn't know that. That was going to be my first question. Thanks. And I was supposed to add...
Was that really your first question?
Yeah, it was sarcastic. Well, since Lonnie's not here, I have to be Lonnie, so I have to...
Where's Lonnie?
Well, we have to be Lonnie.
Indonesia.
Lonnie's... We sacrificed him, and he is now our patron.
He went to bed.
So you and John are going to ask questions as Lonnie.
As Lonnie.
And I'm going to answer them. I don't know what Lonnie had planned for this, but we promoted that we were going to talk about AEW and things going on there. So I'm not like a diehard AEW fan. Like I don't watch it religiously, but I know enough of what's going on there.
I think he's trying to, and I mean, the drama. I think that's
Right.
what he, you know.
Which I think that's where your questions are going to be more geared towards. And Justin has no idea.
I don't think I've ever really watched AEW.
Well, let's start with Lonnie number 1, which would be Justin.
Hey.
Lonnie number 2.
Let me get my voice. I feel like I'm gonna try to do this as much justice as I could. So,
Justice.
what do you want for dinner?
Justice. With a side of spaghetti. I like that skit.
In your
No.
in your tenure of watching
Tenure.
AEW,
This is not sounding anything. I hear myself and I'm like, I do not hear Lonnie. But like
Journey,
my voice
what do you
wants
think
to
of the CM Punk drama?
Oh my gosh. So, Lonnie, to answer your question, to let people know, CM Punk, he was in WWE. He quit, walked out like 8 years or so ago, 9 years ago. And he kind of left on a sour taste in people's mouths.
Yeah, he
and
kind of took
whatnot.
his ball and went home.
Yeah. And he was doing it for the betterment of some of his friends there to, give them higher spots on the card and whatnot. He disappeared from professional wrestling. He went to UFC. He tried a UFC career, got his ass handed to him.
Dude, he only did like 2 matches or so, didn't he?
Yeah. And he got fucked up.
He left in 2014. I don't know if you said 2000.
So that 8 years ago.
Yeah.
So then he did UFC. That didn't work. Well, anytime you talk to him, like he's kind of one of those people where a lot of the stories you hear about him with fan interactions, he's a dickhead. He's an asshole. I respected the guy. I liked him for the fact that he's straight edge.
You think he just probably needs to smoke a joint? All right.
Yeah, maybe. But
he needs something.
He would always speak his mind and speak the truth, which I appreciated that.
The truth or his truth?
Well, that's where I'm getting at.
That's what we're getting at.
You're starting to wonder now because a little over a year ago, or about a year ago, he came to this All Elite Wrestling, which for those that don't know, AEW, was it 2018 when it started up? Around then it was 2018, 2019. And their idea was to compete with WWE, which was the only
2019
big professional wrestling promotion out there. They had backers like Cody Rhodes.
Well, yeah, that's how it started. Like Cody Rhodes, who was it? Meltzer, who was like, I bet no independent could sell 10,000 seat arena or whatever. And Cody Rhodes goes, okay, I'll take that bet.
Yep. So with the help of Tony Khan, or more so Tony Khan's dad, who owns the
Jaguars,
the Jacksonville Jaguars NFL team, who's like a billionaire, they started this company. Chris Jericho was on board, the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega. And, they had a rough start, but then people started leaving WWE to go to AEW. And then AEW started getting momentum, and they were the alternative to WWE, who at the time was really catering towards kids. It was a PG product, very poop and pee joke type of thing.
Catering towards that and an old man who was out of touch.
Yes.
AKA Vince McMahon.
And so AEW came along and they started doing like the Attitude Era, back where there was blood, violence, all that stuff. So it was a nice alternative for like the older guys to like, okay, WWE turned their back on us. Now we can watch AEW. And I'm one of those people that I was on board with AEW. So CM Punk came back about a year ago, and huge shock. Like people knew it was going to
People knew
happen,
that reaction. Go look up the reaction video, like CM Punk debuting in AEW. It's huge.
It's but
chilling.
it also was in Chicago, which is his hometown.
Yeah.
So he was there. It took less than a year for him to win the championship belt. And then he got injured and had to give up the belt. And then he came back from injury and he won the belt. This was a couple weeks ago. And then their post press conference scrum,
media scrum is what they called it, which I don't remember them having one for other pay-per-views.
They do.
They do? Okay.
Everyone
it just wasn't
do.
as big because of the... Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So he was up there
just
with
didn't give a
Tony
shit about
Khan.
those.
Tony Khan, the guy that runs AEW, he always sits up there. And he is like a little kid. Like you can tell he's just excited because it's like...
He treats AEW like he's playing with action figures.
Yes, exactly.
100%. He is a huge fucking Mark fanboy, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but he needs to find, and we'll talk about this, and this kind of is why this is happening. He needs to find
Balls.
Balls, basically. And he needs to find a line from being a fan and being a boss and a guy running a fucking company.
He lets these guys walk all over him. And as a former professional wrestling promoter, not on that level, I can respect him because I know exactly what he's trying to do. He's trying to do what I was trying to do locally, which is professional wrestling is toxic. Egos are, they're just through the roof. And these guys only care about themselves and whatnot, which whatever, to each their own. I wanted to create a place where there was the least amount of stress possible. We weren't going to allow for stress, drama, all that stuff. And I learned very quickly that that can't happen.
Question to you for that personal side. For those who have egos, have you ever approached one of them and be like, what do you think you look like out there? Like,
No, we have, my thing was I was always, and my business partner at the time too, we were always willing to pay people what they thought their worth was the first time. And, basically we tell them like, okay, we'll pay you that if you can get butts in the seat. But if you're not going to help provide butts in the seats and you're not going to give us a top-notch match, then next time we're not going to pay you that much. And that's why I said you soon learn that, after the first show, there was several that promised us this and then they phoned in their match. And I'm like, really? I paid you this much? And I'm not going to argue with them and be like, I'm only giving you this much because what you did out there was horse shit.
lackluster.
But you soon realize,
learn
and
after,
that's why I'm not really, I didn't fight to keep now going after COVID because it's just like, it's probably best. I'll probably live a couple more years longer because I'm not having that. But you got to think Tony Khan, he's on a professional level with guys that have been wrestling around the world, letting them take advantage of him and basically letting them call their shots. So back to CM Punk at this press conference, he won the title back. And in this press conference, he just starts talking about personal shit about, his former best friend that, he's in this whole thing where he paid off for his house.
Colt
and this.
Cabana.
And, yeah, Colt Cabana. And then he's talking about how the EVPs of AEW, which is Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks that are also wrestlers, like how they're trying to make this a bigger deal than it is and this and that. And just unnecessary things that needed to be out in the open.
Yeah, he aired some dirty laundry and not in a professional way at all.
No.
He's dropping F-bombs.
That need to be out or that didn't need to?
No.
It didn't need to be out.
Need to be out at all.
And he's just, like John said, he's dropping F-bombs and this and that. And basically he's like, if people want to tell him that the other people in the locker room are like, he's working with bitches and stuff like that. And
One of the quotes is he's like, I'm old, I'm tired, and I work with children.
yeah, but he's like the biggest child of them all.
Like, you're the one crying about everything.
He has an ego complex too.
Yeah.
Like he
For sure.
literally has a wrestling god complex. Like he thinks
I never
he's
really,
Best in the world.
I never really paid attention too much
Which-
to him, even though he promoted like the straight edge, and I thought they just using the title was kind of annoying and all that. But like, I always thought he was kind of a bitch,
I like him. I think he's entertaining. I
he's
think
earned the upper echelon of talent wise, match quality, watching his matches over the years, especially in ROH and, WWE. I don't really feel he's done that in AEW. I think he's kind of phoning it in at this point.
Yeah. And so after his part of the press conference, apparently the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega went to his locker room to confront him when he had just said in his press conferences, like if people want to talk to me, come talk to me or whatever. Well, then they did. And then a fight ensued. And that's the thing is Tony Khan had to finally kind of man up, and he basically suspended all of them. He stripped them all of titles because
all of them had titles too.
Yeah. So it's a whole mess. And the thing at AEW is like a year ago, they were on top of the world. They were, to me and a lot of people, they were way better than WWE.
Yeah, more entertaining, more wrestling.
Yeah.
They were giving us what we wanted.
But they are imploding from the inside. There's talent fighting with each other all over the place. Talent refusing to do things because they don't want a job to somebody or put somebody over. And there's a lot of people now that are wanting to get out of their contracts and go back to WWE because now Vince isn't there.
Yeah. Tell him why.
And Triple H is taking over, and he actually
Why
understands.
isn't Vince there, Jeremy?
Sorry. Why isn't Vince there?
Because Vince McMahon has paid over like $15 million that we know
Up to
of.
19 now.
Oh,
Yeah.
he's paid at least $19 million in hush money from all these women that he's had sexual, what's the word? Sexual liaisons or assault. Yeah, basically. I mean,
Blowies for screen time.
and he's used company money for that as well.
And he would like pass interns off to Johnny Laurinaitis too. Allegedly. I don't want to get us in trouble, but
I mean, yeah. But anybody that knows Vince,
It sounds like a virus.
It's crazy because this world, the world of professional wrestling has just been tipped upside down.
yeah, it's done a complete 180.
and I think it's
Everybody gave up on WWE, like he said, and went to AEW, and now it's like, okay, now the opposite is happening.
like we want to go back to WWE because there's a guy running things now that is a wrestler or was a wrestler and knows what
He's more in
wrestling's about.
touch, yeah.
And he's not writing shows for himself like Vince was.
Well,
Hey.
partly.
Thank you, Lonnie. Too. Lonnie 1, any questions?
Yeah. Is there anybody who is the most attractive male in the AEW roster?
The most attractive wrestler. Yikes.
I don't know. I know
No.
Velvet thinks Wardlow's fucking gorgeous.
Yeah, I'd say
MJF,
he's up there.
probably.
MJF. Some people
Adam Cole, baby.
Jungle Boy, if you like that.
That's
Matthew Perry's son.
Matthew.
I think you broke him.
Luke Perry.
Okay, I
It's
guess.
Luke Perry.
It's Chandler from Friends. Luke Perry's son.
R.I.P. Luke Perry.
yeah.
It is his son in real life. So obviously
He's like
that's
this
genetics.
tall too.
Yeah, and he's got hair like fucking.
Whitney Houston in the 80s. So yeah, it's just
It's a nightmare.
it
honestly.
really is, and this is what I fear. for
Did you
Tony
hear?
Khan.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I think Tony Khan is getting that rude wake up call that all these people that he thought were his friends weren't his friends at all. They were only trying to get close to his dad's paycheck or wallet. And they don't have the best interest for AEW in their minds. Their best interest is what's best for them. And I feel like Tony Khan is going to get very depressed here soon if he doesn't grow a pair of balls and actually man up and get help. Like he's got William Regal, which you don't know who he is, but William Regal is a genius when it comes
And
to
a guy Triple H
wrestling.
wants back.
Yeah. And if you have him be in charge of things, and the thing is, there's not those like in WWE in the locker room, Undertaker, JBL, Farouk, they were leaders in that locker room and they handled things to keep people in line. AEW is just a fucking free for all, and you need to get those leaders back there. And they have people that could be those leaders.
Jericho.
but
There's certain
Jericho's got
industries.
too much on his plate to give a shit, though.
right.
There's certain industries where like the patients running the asylum, it could work, but not
Wrestling's
with,
not
yeah.
one of them.
Well-
Tony Khan doesn't know what to do when his action figures start speaking for themselves.
Yep.
Like he's a fan, and there's nothing wrong with that if you have, like we said, the balls to fucking make decisions and put your foot down.
Well, that's like me. I'm a fan of football. That's the only sport I really like to watch. But that would be like me going out and buying an NFL team and trying to run it. I don't know shit about it, and I don't know shit about contracts with players and what they should get paid and this and that. And they're going to tell me this and be like, I'm going to be the starter. It's like,
Speaking
oh, okay.
of the Chiefs one,
But well, surprise.
27-24.
But there's people saying in the locker room of AEW that were also in WCW that there's vibes of WCW back in 2000 when it was starting to go under.
But if you go on the network and you get your popcorn out and you watch WCW 2000 to 2001, it is the best backyard wrestling federation I've ever seen in my life. If you look at it like, I'm going to watch a shit show. Scott Steiner, Big Papa Pump, came out with a fucking tiger. Why? Because he fucking wanted to. There was one of my favorite promos is when he rips Ric Flair. He talks about his old ass skin. He's like, all that money, he didn't spend any on those yellow jacked up teeth of yours. Yeah.
Huh.
But yeah, back to AEW. And all this is happening. So CM Punk, go watch it. I implore you to really do watch just CM Punk media scrum. Type it in. He's literally sitting there like first of all, he busts out like 18 cans of like water for some reason. Then he gets a muffin from a local Chicago bakery and he's like sitting there just shoving it in his mouth while he's talking, half bleeding and sweaty because he just had a fucking match. And he's sitting there like, just fuck you and fuck you. And, he's just dropping F-bombs constantly while his boss is literally sitting there not knowing what to fucking say. And he's trying to backpedal and he's like, well, I shouldn't have let them ask that question. Like, fuck off, Tony Khan. Take the balls and grab CM Punk. Be like, shut the fuck up. Talk about this pay-per-view and let's move on. But that's not what he did.
And the other thing is when CM Punk's dropping F-bombs and eating that muffin,
and then
in the middle of it, he plugs the bakery
he's like,
that he got it from. He's like, if we're in the area, you should go to this place. And it's like, I don't know how this bakery feels about this.
Their bakery sales
we don't
went
want
up
your business.
48%. Real talk. So, I mean, it helped him, but I don't know if that's what you want.
It's just, and that's the thing, you have to watch the
Mama's Little Bakery.
the media scrum twice, because the first time just to take it in and listen, and the second time to just watch Tony Khan, because that guy goes through so many emotions on his face, and you can tell at times where he just wants to just like roll over and die.
If you watch, it's like 20 minutes or whatever, 23 minutes. If you watch the media scrum, Punk has points. He has things, his frustrations are real. There's real frustrations in there. That is not the time to air that.
Oh.
It is inappropriate. It is horribly handled by him. He shoots on CM Punk, Colt Cabana, not CM Punk, Adam Page, and Kenny Omega and the Elite, which are EVPs. He literally shits on the people that the guy next to him hired. He's like, you basically hired fucking worthless people to run this company. He's literally shitting all over Tony, and Tony Khan's just like, oh, what the fuck?
Well,
I'll send you this video. It's a straight on shot of CM Punk. It doesn't move, and you can see Tony Khan's reactions. Like, he's just deadpan staring like, what the fuck did I just get into?
Huh.
It's interesting stuff.
Sounds worth it.
It basically, I know a lot of wrestling
I'm sending it to you right now.
breaks down the fourth wall, and they have
Especially now.
they have specials where you can watch these like ride along, and it's like, oh, these two were feuding last month, but they're in a car singing together. But this media scrum
Not like that.
gives you what it's really like
To be in
behind the
CM Punk,
scenes, behind the curtain. Like, it's no joke. Ego.
It's insane. It really is. It's embarrassing for him. I'm embarrassed for Tony Khan, honestly.
Yeah. You feel bad for him, but
I just sent it in our little group message, and there's a little notification. Watch that later, because that's all you'll need to watch. And I wish you watched it now so we could talk about it, but we got to get going. But
thanks, Lonnie's, for
there's a lot of people, like he said,
I do what I can.
there's a lot of people that want out of their AEW contracts to come back and work with AAA.
4 to 5 years from now, that WWE roster is going to be stacked.
Yeah.
Because a lot of these guys, it's funny because
Well, that was another problem with AEW. Not to cut you off, but
you did.
sorry. That's one guy they didn't sign.
Wait
That's
it
the
up.
problem. Everybody wanted out of WWE, so AEW's just sign this guy, sign this guy, and then they oversaturated their market. So all these guys that feel like they should be on TV aren't getting on TV, and they're getting frustrated, they're getting upset, and they're all turning on each other. The entire women's division hates each other. They can't even be in the same
And
fucking
I
locker
think
room.
some of them are faking mental
Women.
health problems.
Aleister Black.
I
think he honestly really is going through mental problems.
I think he is, but I also think he's exaggerating it to get out of his contract.
Real quick, 3 guys you want from AEW right now. You can only get 3.
Adam Cole,
I knew
100%.
that. Yeah,
He's
I
my
knew that was
favorite.
100%.
Wardlow, I think, would be good in WWE. And as long as Triple H is in charge, MJF.
Nice. I think a lot of people would have both Cole and MJF in there. I'm going to go different because I don't want to take on yours. And I'm not going to go Daniel Bryan, even though I think he's literally him and there's like 3 people. Him, Adam Cole, Finn Balor, best in the world in wrestling right now. Like they can literally have a match with a fucking napkin and it be a 4.5 star because he only gives out 5-star matches to Kenny Omega. But did you see he gave Walter and Sheamus a 5-star?
Yeah.
I was
Rightfully
fucking
so.
surprised. That was a banger. But
I thought of
along
somebody
those
else,
lines,
but-
Rusev.
Yeah.
Like you bring Rusev into that feud with Sheamus and Walter or any of those guys. Like I think Rusev was super underutilized. He should have beat John Cena at WrestleMania when he came out in a fucking tank.
Wasn't he in jail for?
No,
No.
Who am I
you might be
thinking?
thinking. I don't know who you're thinking of, but
There was a wrestler. I thought it was Rusev because he came out with what was his wife or his?
Lana.
Lana.
Yeah, wasn't it? Or no, it was Lana's actual husband.
That
Rusev is
real-
her
yeah, that's
actual
real
yeah.
life.
But fuck, what's the Latin dude?
Butt fuck.
Sure.
Oh, are you talking about Andrade or whatever? That's Charlotte Flair's husband.
I would love to have
I
him
think-
back too.
I think or no, Del Rio.
Yes.
Maybe
Yes,
Del
Del
Rio.
Rio.
That's
Paige.
not. Yeah, I wasn't.
Paige, okay.
I was like one of those Mexicans.
Oh.
No, wait, that was more Asian. I don't know what that was. See,
Hell.
so yeah, I would take Rusev. I would take it. I'm not gonna go with the same people you are. Rusev. Fuck, they're all the same people basically. Because Adam Cole needs to come back.
Yeah.
100%. And I'm gonna take the Revival.
Okay. I would, and maybe instead of Wardlow, I'd say Buddy Matthews, Buddy Murphy.
Yeah,
I think that
his
guy
girlfriend's
is fucking
already
amazing.
there.
I would love to see, even though I don't care for
Rhea
Brody
Ripley.
even though I don't care for Brody Lee, I'd love to see House of Black versus Judgment Day.
I think. Oh no, I know who I was gonna say. So I'm gonna go with Rusev. I'm gonna go with Pac.
QT Marshall.
Mm-hmm.
Because I thought they shit on Neville.
QT
Like
Marshall.
on. Are you just googling names?
Jack Evans.
I don't even know who that is.
Marco Stunt.
They're all released.
Peter. I have no idea. So I just typed in worst wrestlers.
Stop it. So
Brandon,
yeah, I'm gonna go Rusev. I'm gonna go Pac, and then I'm gonna go Sammy Guevara.
Brandon
Yes, Sammy. I just
And like I said, FTR.
I want to do Andrade as well. I still think the best match I've ever seen was Gargano and Andrade.
100%.
But yeah, I really
Any
I
women?
don't. The only reason I want AEW to fail is because everybody will be out of their contracts. WWE can sign who they want to sign. But the thing is, like people like Adam Cole, he's contracted through 2028.
Yeah, some of
And
these
it's
guys
like,
sign
ugh.
like 5-year deals, and it's like, what
Jeez.
the fuck? Tony Khan bought ROH, so like him getting that up and running will help deviate some of the wrestlers and their time and TV exposure and all that crap. I love Cesaro, but
What
I don't think WWE, even if they brought him back,
There was a dark window that opened up. and
AEW Dark.
absorbed the contract. And
Any
then,
women you
witchery,
take from AEW?
like dark energy came from it was just
Yeah, I
haunted.
stopped listening to you.
Any women?
Yeah,
I would like to see Britt Baker in WWE,
I feel like Mikey hates her.
and I think she could learn a lot.
Oh yeah, I think she could be schooled by some Becky Lynch action.
Same thing with Jade Cargill. Whatever.
She's so young and green still, but I feel like she could be a star.
Yeah. Other than that, I mean, I think the women in AEW
Are trash.
they're meant
That-
for AEW.
That
and what
division
they-
is terrible.
yeah, it is, and toxic.
Yeah, they all
But-
hate each other. I don't get that Rosa chick or whatever.
Mm.
Who's the champ? Or well, the injured champ. Because she teams with Tony Storm and they have a good name. Thunder
Rosa,
yeah.
yes.
Thunderstorm.
Justin's like, yep, I know.
Yes.
Do you know
Justin, how you feel right now is how we felt during the Prey review podcast.
Well, you
guys
guys
feel-
watch it,
Justin,
at least, so.
how you feel right now is how we feel every topic of yours.
How we feel for the next.
Oh yeah, okay.
You know,
Who'd you look up?
Thunder Rosa. I'm like, I'm familiar with.
Ooh,
I'm very.
what about the Lucha Bros?
I am.
WWE actually tried to
Yeah.
sign them,
Yeah.
and then they decided to go. I feel like with Triple H in charge, the women's division and the tag division is actually going to be
All
there,
all divisions.
there.
Like the way he treats the Intercontinental and United States title now.
already in the 6 weeks or
He
whatever.
just needs to get new title belts.
which he ordered.
But
He ordered a
Justin, I will tell you the one person that AEW has not signed that I want to have signed is none other than Ho!
I feel you should end that segment there. Literally end it there.
You should, and then you should also end it on Ho!
Motherfucker.
Now just put did I do anything for you?
So-
Do your best Lonnie impression.
I did already. I talked to you. I said,
Thanks, guys, for your AEW question.
Oh, did you? John, what's your best Paco impression?
Holy shit.
What?
I sang a lot. I can't even do it. I gotta hear him. I miss that.
Paco don't want nothing like that.
I miss
Paco-
that bean.
It's it was a.
And
Are you
rice.
surrounded by hot pussy?
I know. I can't do it. I need to hear his voice. I'm good at mimicking. That's why I need to hear Lonnie talk.
Do you
and then we
still
can do
have
Lonnie.
Paco's number?
Yeah, it's not his number anymore. He moved to Mexico and got
Do you have that
cartelled or something. I don't.
that girl's number that you called that you're like, holy shit.
Tiff? I don't think so.
have some cock.
I'm surrounded by hot cock. Are you
Who could we? Could we oosh somebody live on that? Dan.
Roseanne's dead.
Roseanne is dead.
That's not how Paco
It's like
sounds, though. But
10:30,
Paco's more like
Paco,
like when you're looking at me, it's really hard to do it. But he's like,
I'm sorry.
she says.
Yo, let me talk to you.
He's Bobcat.
Come here. Hey, mama, let me talk to you. Look, I see you over there.
Remember when you thought I had like the best Tracy Morgan impression?
You did.
That came up under my feed on my memories the other day.
He's going to ask you a question as Paco
gotta
as
hear-
Tracy Morgan.
I
Go.
have to like listen.
So to the listeners, honest to God,
this sounds like Paco.
this is Justin's best Paco impression, and
This is exactly
John
what he sounds like.
thinks
This
he
is-
really is sounding like Tracy Morgan.
I do not think
says,
it. You
okay.
thought it.
So here we go.
Hey, young blood, let me talk to you. Come on here. Yo, I see you.
I can't even do it. Like I can't even like get my mouth into that position anymore. What you want to talk about? That's straight. What you think that we're talking? You talk.
We all here.
It came about because the Tracy Morgan thing came about because he used to host what was
Scare
that?
Tactics.
Scare Tactics. Yeah.
yeah.
Throw the
And-
blood.
He would go and it would cut to him in between the pranks and he would talk about nothing that happened. He'd be like, so that's why the toilet flushed that night. Like, what? They just scared you with the UFO invasion. But that's why my sandwich didn't have any pickles.
Well, welcome back to the Boundless PodTrap, episode 44.
Why?
Paco.
I need to hear, I don't know. I
That's
really
what he
need to
sounds
pee.
like. All right. This is what I brought the diapers up here for.
Oh, I just used this.
So Lonnie does a really good Fred Durst impression. John
Why are you laughing?
John does a really good Tracy Morgan. You apparently do a really good Paco,
This is
aka Christopher Walken, and
not Christopher
Bobcat Goldworth, whatever his name is.
Bobcat.
I don't. What would mine be?
Now you're taking
John also
a
does.
lamb.
John also does a really good Whoopi Goldberg impression.
No, I don't. I do.
Welcome
It's
back.
more the hyenas from The Lion King.
It's Whoopi Goldberg. Welcome back to The View. We're with Whoopi. Whoopi, how have you been?
How you guys? Mufasa. Oh, stop it. It tingles.
Oh, God.
Whoopi Goldberg, wasn't she in the Prey movie we just watched?
That's fucked up.
I just thought of my next topic for our next episode. I'm going to ask you guys all to do just impressions on the spot. So
Elmer loves impressions.
okay. Oh my god,
That was actually pretty good.
that was. I used to be able
Elmer
to
loves
do.
everybody.
I used
Don't
to
touch me there.
Don't tickle.
I don't think my throat has changed over the years. I used to do a really good Kermit the Frog, but I don't even think I could even attempt to do it. 'cause
You mean
I'd-
Jordan
I used
Peterson?
to do the joke all the time, like,
There's a frog in my throat.
"Yeah, there's a frog in my throat.
Let me out of here. Hi ho.
All right. Well,
Hi ho, Kermit the Frog. I can't do it.
There's like
anymore.
one person in one of these offices that's like, what is what?
They lock
do this
themselves
every
in.
single-
And,
Like, I just hear Tracy Morgan. Why don't touch my tickle spot?
Keep talking like that.
so we're taking a
I don't know why.
That makes me think of that Family Guy
Isn't
episode.
everyone on The View a lesbian?
Sure.
Anyway, Family Guy.
That Family Guy episode where
Close the door. You're letting the stank out.
where Brian goes to see a play and everyone's voice sounds the same, and he's like, oh, I liked it, but they all sound the same, and it shows that people are like, yeah, I really like it, and it's like an old lady that sounds like. Do you know which episode I'm talking about?
No.
yeah.
Okay, let's cut all that then because it's not funny.
Whose leg do I got to hump to get a dry martini around here?
Are we peeing?
Yes. So we're just going to cut to a commercial. We'll be back next week for another segment.
And guess what? There's probably no little thingy-majigger with my voice on it.
There is.
It's an outro.
It's going to be John's.
This is
I don't do outros.
Yeah, fuck off.
ML Image specializes in boudoir, ink, pinup, glamour, and even nude since 2005. ML Image celebrates and highlights the female form in the most vibrant, eloquent, and sultry of portraits. ML Image is an Omaha-based photographer. You can see his work at mlimage.com. Be warned, it is not safe for work. If you are a model looking to expand your portfolio, inquiries can be made through mlimage.com or mlimage on Instagram. Consider becoming a patron for more exclusive and titillating content. You won't be disappointed. ML Image, where image is everything.
That podcast do anything for you? Well, that's not all. Stay tuned next week for the continuation of this episode, or whenever these things come out. Later.